May I request everyone to rise for the word of prayer? Angel, will you please lead? Good morning, class. Okay, thank you. You may now take your seats. For the attendance, I will monitor it time by time. I will also take a screenshot after our virtual class. Before we proceed to our next discussion, let us take a review first. So, what was our topic last meeting? Okay, Angel? Okay, very good. Thank you, Angel. So, our last topic is all about the ensuring teacher quality through competency framework and standard. And what it is all about. Okay, Luella? Very good. So, it is all about the quality teacher and teacher quality. The qualities of a 21st century teacher that to differentiate between teacher quality and quality of a teacher. So, very good. Class, I have here a two-item statement, and each statement you will explain. Number 1, growth is an evidence of life. And number 2, man and woman is an unfinished project. You will write it in your scratch paper and just make an explanation between 3 to 5 sentences. Are you done? Okay. Based on your answer, what does the both statement says and how does it relate to continuing professional development or CPD? Thank you, Mr. Alex Langote. Very well said. So, growth is an evidence of life. This implies that anything is alive grows, or anything that grows is alive. So, a teacher who is alive grows physically, psychologically, mentally, socially, emotionally, and spiritually. If he or she does not grow, it means she is no longer alive. Man or woman is an unfinished project. For a professional teacher, he or she is always on the process of becoming better and better as a person and as a professional teacher. No person, no professional can claim that he or she has already arrived at a state of perfection. So, our topic for today is all about continuing professional development, the lifeblood of the teaching profession. And our objective for today is, number 1, explain why CPD is necessary for professional teachers. Number 2, discuss pertinent provision of the CPD Act of 2016 and other related legal documents. And lastly, commit to continuing professional development. The historical and legal basis of continuing professional development in the Philippines. Even before the enactment of CPD Act of 2016, CPD was already alluded to in 1987 Philippine Constitution. No less than the Fundamental Law of the Land, Section 5, Paragraph 4 states, "The state shall enhance the right of teachers to professional advancement." Other laws also cited continuing professional development as follows. Number 1, Batas Pambansa 232, the Education Act of 1982, Chapter 3, Duties and Obligations, Section 16, Number 4, state as one of teacher obligations to assume the responsibility to maintain and sustain his professional growth and advancement. Meaning, as a teacher or as a professional teacher, you are responsible to maintain and sustain your professional growth by gaining new skills and work experience that can help you to reach your goal in your career. Number 2, RA 9155, an act instituting a framework of governance for basic education, establishing authority and accountability, renaming the Department of Education, Culture, and Sport as Department of Education, and for other purposes. And this RA 9155 was enacted on August 11, 2001. In the enumeration of duties and function of the Secretary of Education, Section 7A. In addition to his or her power under existing laws, the Secretary of Education shall have authority, accountability, and responsibility, among other things, for enhancing the employment status, professional competence, welfare, and working condition to all personnel of the department. Republic Act 9155 Republic Act 9155 provides the overall framework for principal empowerment by strengthening principal and leadership goals and local schools-based management within the context of transparency and local accountability. Number 3, RA 7836, the Teacher Professionalization Act, also provided for mandatory continuing professional education, or CPE, and now referred to as continuing professional development. And number 4, the Board for Professional Teacher, or BPT, also passed resolution number 435 series of 177 to adopt the Code of Ethics for Professional Teacher pursuant to provision of paragraph Article 11 of RA 7836, otherwise known as the Philippine Teacher Professionalization Act of 1994. This code ethics states, every teacher shall participate to the continuing professional education program of all professional regulation commission and shall pursue each other's studies as well as improve his efficiency, enhance the prestiges of his profession, and strengthen his competencies, virtues, and productivity in order to become a nationally and internationally competitive. And lastly, Executive Order Number 266, Institutionalization of the Continuing Professional Education, or CPE, programs of the various professional regulatory boards under the supervision of the Professional Regulation Commission. This was signed and issued by the Office of the President Fidel V. Ramos on July 25, 1995. The following are the ways by which professional teachers can earn credit units. As shown below, the CPD credit units can be earned in 4 ways. Number 1, professional track. This includes training provided by CPD providers accredited by PRC. You can earn credit units as a participant to a training provided by the CPD Council. You earn more credit units if you serve as a resource speaker, trainer, or demonstrator teacher. You will also earn credit units as panelist, reactor, facilitator, or moderator. You earn much more if you are assigned by the CPD Council to monitor the conduct of an approved CPD program. Academic track. This refers to the completion of master's degree, completion of candidacy of the doctorate program, completion of the doctorate program, completion of a postdoctoral diploma, and being a recipient of a professional chair grant and/or fellowship grant. Take note that only completion of the master degree is given full credit of units of 45. Earning MA units is not given any credit units, but completion of candidacy for the doctorate degree already entitles 1 to 45 credit units. The master's and the doctorate degree must have been earned 5 years before renewal of the professional license. Take note that only completion of master degree is given full credit with the units of 45. Number 3, self-directed track. This includes trainings offered by non-accredited CPD providers. It refers to learning activities such as online training, local or international seminars, non-degree courses, institution or company-sponsored training program, and the like, which did not undergo CPD accreditation but may applied for and awarded CPD units by the respective CPD council. In addition, self-direct track includes serving as accreditor. It also includes study tours and socio-civic activities using the profession. And lastly, productive scholarship. This means that a professional teacher has developed program or training module, curriculum guide, or any other resources materials. Or the professional teacher was written an article in a professional magazine or technical research paper and even refers it better if the technical paper is published and referred peer-reviewed professional journal. Best of the professional teacher writes a book or a monograph or comes up with the invention of created work. The latter entitles him or her to a credit of 45 units. Learning from the CPD practices of high-performance countries. Number 1 is CPD in Singapore. Singapore is the first country in the world that adopted the PLC framework nationwide. That is according to Denmark and TAN of 2013 and Heron of Denmark of 2011. It was institutionalized PLC in its school. The professional development is very much alive in Singapore. In 2010, the Ministry of Education mandate all schools to be learning organization. So what this learning organization means? So this learning organization is a concept of schools supports the building of a strong mentorship culture where a collaborative and community-oriented form of a professional development thrives. Each teacher is entitled to 100 hours per year of optional training which everyone makes use of. Schools are encouraged to provide at least 1 hour of curricular time per week for teachers to actively engage in school-based professional development initiatives. Under the CPD Singapore, there is another effective strategy for PD in the lesson study by Lewis Perry and Hurd of 2024, and it was adopted from Japan. The overall goal of lesson study is to foster collaborative inquiry and data-driven pedagogically reflection among teachers. So this consists of 4 cyclical phases. Number 1, the study phase. Study phase refers to teacher analyze the curriculum to be taught and formulate long terms and teaching and learning goals. Number 2, planning phase. Planning phase refers to teachers select lesson for research, predict student thinking and difficulties, and plan the implementation of specific lesson for data collection. Number 3, analysis phase. Analysis phase refers to teachers observes and discuss the classroom evidence collected. It's either videos, student written, or activities. And lastly, number 4, reflection phase. Teacher discuss student learning and identify new areas for further inquiry. So these are the 4 cyclical phases. Again, the study phase, planning phase, analysis phase, and reflection phase. Number 2 countries that practices CPD is in Finland. CPD in Finland teacher meet one afternoon each week to jointly plan and develop curriculum. They are encouraged to work together to share materials. So one afternoon every week, the teacher join together from different schools to share their knowledge and to update and plan to develop a curriculum from their observation of their students. Number 3 country is in Japan. CPD Japan is a very well known for lesson study. How does Japan do lesson study as a strategy of professional development? So below is a detailed description of how Japan implements the lesson study. So every teacher periodically prepares a best possible lesson that demonstrates strategy to achieve a specific goals in collaboration with other colleagues. A group of teachers observe while the lesson is taught and usually record the lesson in a number of ways including videotapes, audio tapes, a narrative or checklist observation that focus on areas of interest in the instructing teacher. Afterward, the group of teacher and sometimes outside educator discuss the lesson's strengths and weaknesses, ask questions, and make suggestions to improve the lesson. In some cases, the revised lesson is given by another teacher only a few days later and observe and discuss it again. Country is the CPD in New Zealand. So in New Zealand, the Ministry of Education give funds for 20% release time for new teacher and 10% release time for second-year teacher. Ministry of Education to observe other teachers, attend professional development activities, courses, and work on curriculum. Mentor teachers deliberately spend time to observe and confer with beginning teacher. Based on the professional development practices and experience of high-performing country, we can say that a CPD that work is continuous, collaborative, focus on a specific teacher needs, job embedded, given enough time, and it is funded. The one-shot workshop that teachers demand don't work. CPD must be continuous, thus the word continuing professional development. So from the word continuing, it means it is be continuous. A professional do not stop developing, or he or she rots. Stagnant water become pure. So a professional do not stop developing. Every time they were learn from their student, every time they learn another new knowledge, another understanding. And that's called continuing development. It is a continuous process of development of being a professional. CPD must also be collaborative, thus the need of part of the PLC, a professional learning community. CPD must focus on a specific teacher's need. It responds to a need and so is highly relevant to the teachers. It focuses on the specific needs of a teacher. What was the teacher's need? A videotape, a school supplies, a school facilities, so that he can teach or she can teach very well with their student, so that he can provide the needs of knowledge that every student needed from her or him. CPD with support funds is definitely better than one without. So continuing development is not just easy as that. So you need a fund from the Ministry of Education to continue to develop your professional. You will undergo some seminars that is accredited by CPD to earn also a credit units for your professional career, so that you can have a promotion and reach your career goals that you want to be. So for our application, study the picture below. So, what does this picture relates to the CPD or the continuing professional development? Okay, thank you. Very good. So, it shows that to become a professional, you start at a small point until to become a so-called professional. It doesn't mean that you're a professional, you should stop to grow and develop. Just like this butterfly, it doesn't stop until it can fly high. So also a professional, the process is ongoing and it continues until the time of a person reaches the top of being professional. So being professional doesn't stop from passing your LET examination, but it continues every time and every time. You will undergo seminars to learn another knowledge and to develop your skills of being a teacher. And that is a continuing professional development. So since all of you understand what is CPD all about, under provision and another legal documents within it, so let's have our assessment. So our assessment is easy as essay. So number 1, explain why teacher need to go through CPD. And the following are the rubrics of your scores. So 20 if all of your answers are correct and connect to the topic. 15 points if there is one incorrect in your answer but also connected to the topic. And 10 points if there is one or two incorrect your answer and go beyond with the topic. So I give you a 20 minutes to answer the assessment.